Hello everybody, Joe Bagdon's here. Welcome back for another episode of Umineko. Finally getting around to starting episode 2. Is the thing? Oh, we just going right to opening? Or did I just wait too long on the screen? I think I just waited too long on the screen. Weird. Bad timing. Started playing as soon as I hit start. Anyway, yeah, episode 2. Finally getting around to it. It's been a couple days since I last recorded. I know it seems like I say that every recording session, and that's because it's true. I used to have like a backlog of like episodes ready to go up. It was like 6 of them. Now it's only 2. There's only 2 fucking I got on deck. So time to catch up. This whole working thing, like going back to work, it's for the fucking birds, man. I'd much prefer being a like worthless bum and just sit at home for 3 months straight collecting fucking my paycheck because I'm salaried. But if they're gonna make me like go and do things, that's pretty rough. Anyway, we already read the little chapter summary there for episode 2 last time, so let's just hop right on in. Run the clock back. Stories and dialing, nothing more than fantasy, cannot possibly have any relations to real persons, organizations, places, or events. Gotta say that every time. Are they? Fish are kind of gross. I mean, they taste good, but like, ooh, casual Shannon. Shannon found a pair of hammerhead sharks playfully swimming in the tank, and made a fuss like a grade schooler seeing an aquarium for the first time. What you wearing dog tags for? You never were in the army. Get out of here, you fucking poser. Yeah, shark tastes pretty good. Like big meaty fish like swordfish. They don't have like the normal flaky fish texture, you know? They're more substantial. I don't know about that, but... Yeah. You can plate pretty much anything in front of me and I'll eat it. I'm like the opposite of picky. I'm like a fucking garbage disposal. Ooh, fucking smooth. Shannon embraced her chest with both hands in embarrassment. What, like she cupped her tits? That's a weird thing to do. She apparently felt like she was being made fun of for wearing these clothes that she wasn't used to. Even though George's face didn't show it, the truth was that even he was surprised at how easily those tremendous words had left his lips. And he was as embarrassed as Shannon on the inside. However, when he saw how embarrassed Shannon was, he started to feel as though he was teasing the girl he liked. Instead of embarrassment, ticklish amusement welled up in him. Teasing people's fun. Wait, that isn't just a feeling. I really am teasing the girl I like. Pains me to admit it. I used to think that such embarrassing expressions had fallen so far out of use that they no longer showed up even in manga. On the contrary, if I'd seen a couple acting like that, I'd have felt like throwing rocks at them. Yeah, fuck the happy people. Why do they get to, like, you know, be fulfilled? However, even if rocks were thrown at us now, I'm sure they would be just like confetti celebrating us, until one hits you upside the head. Now, I can't even remember those lonely days, when I felt jealous at couples who were completely oblivious to their surroundings. To use an old-fashioned phrase, these would be truly rose-colored days. I was so entranced that I no longer even noticed the big tank of the world's largest aquarium. As long as you don't have, like, dolphins or, like, whales in there, that's fine. Fish are dumb enough that, you know, they can be happy in a tank. You know, no higher life forms, please. Instead, I saw only Shannon happily playing with the fish, all her changing emotions showing on her face. Don't put a whale in it, though.
この大水槽がここの最大の売りだそうだからね。なんでも世界で最大なんだそうだよ。
そうなんですか。それはすごいですね。
I'll allow like penguins and maybe seals like sea lions for like the shows if they're like, you know, have ample space to like hang around in.
本当に素敵です。水槽じゃなくて、まるで海の一部をナイフですっと切り取ってここに運んできたみたい。
That's good. At least it's not like an upscaled version of like the fucking Walmart fish section.
そうだ
Where
ね。
like half of them are dead floating on the top.
これはもう立派な小さな海だね。
Despite its size, I hadn't thought of the tank as anything more than a tank. That's why I thought her expression about slicing off a part of the ocean with a knife was so interesting. No matter how far humans broaden their experiences, in the end, they can only hold a single personal worldview. Maybe that's why it's so interesting to interact with someone who has a different worldview. Nah, people are all about the echo chambers, bro. I said that to her honestly, and she responded.
確かにこれは本当の海ではないかもしれません。でもここに泳ぐ彼らが海だと信じたなら、これは確かに海なんです。
たとえ
How philosophical.
有限の水槽の中だったとしてもね。
海だって有限ですよ。
Yeah, but it like loops around.
仮に無限だったとしても、
So it's effectively infinite.
私たちは生きているうちにどれほどの広さを行き来できるんでしょうね。きっとそれは海よりずっと狭い。
確かに皮肉な話だね。世界はこんなにも広いのに、僕たち人間のほとんどは自分の国からも出ずに生涯を
Well,
終
you
え
do
る。
live on an island country, so less your fault.
そこ
You
が
know, Europeans,
完
they
成
got no
され
fucking
た世界
excuse.
だと信じられるなら、たとえ狭い井戸の底だったって立派な世界で海なんです。そこに住むカエルにとっては。
Shannon, who spent her days as a servant on the small island 10 kilometers in circumference called Rokinjima, said that with a smile. Turn of the Golden Witch. Is that the chapter title or the episode title? Oh, guess it's the episode title. Yeah, get us Battler back. I mean, George is fine, but I mean, if I'm gonna be narrating anybody's inner thoughts, I'd rather have it be Battler than this fucking nerd. We gonna get any names we don't know yet? Because I know for sure there's some characters we haven't seen yet. Nope. Everyone we know so far. Man, fuck the tropics. Seeing these palm trees makes me angry. Even here at work, it's been like in the 70s this week. And just like getting up in the cockpit where it's all windows and it's been closed up the entire day, it's only probably like 90 up in there, but I just start fucking dripping. It's awful. I just melt. It's gotten to the point where I've just given up, and like literally yesterday, I just went online and bought like a sweatband that I'm just gonna bring with me to work from now on. It's all stars, you know, kind of like the American flag, you know, the Starfield section there, the Union. It's just that design. You know, I've got to keep it patriotic, you know, when I'm in uniform. Ooh, a nice little cafe. So, we not going to the mansion for this one? After we finished walking through the whole aquarium, we had a slightly late afternoon lunch at a restaurant with a nice view. Any boy's heart would jump about at the sight of a buffet. I mean, young, yeah, okay. I myself was like that in the past, but with Shannon beside me, this buffet felt different. I couldn't shamefully make a huge pile of nothing but my favorite foods. I was, how should I put it, worried about my appearance, and chose a menu suited for a snob: toast, salad, and coffee. You gonna have a cigarette with that, you fucking European? My god. I don't know why, but my brain just fucking melted. Just seething white rage thinking about the French. Where was I? If I were by myself, I would have made a pile of greasy stuff like yakisoba, mashed potatoes, gratins, and the like.
シャノンはそんな程度でお腹が足りるのかい？
Your gratins are greasy? What are you cooking it with, my guy?
だとしたら、男ってのは本当に燃費の悪い生き物らしいね。
This is why I live on nothing but
別
coffee.
にそういうつもりじゃな
And
く
that
て。
chicken curry I had earlier today from the Indian place near me. I choked on my coffee. On Shannon's tray, there was only tea and salad. Maybe the very idea she could get away with at least one more dish indicated I was thinking with my male stomach.
ジョージ様こそそれで足りるんですか？男の方は
I mean,
もう少し召し上がった方が
pretty
良いかと
big
思いま
guys,
す。
so, you know, it makes sense you gotta eat.
普段のジョージ様だったらもう少しお昼を召し上がられていると思いますよ。
しまった。そうか。シャノンには僕が本家で昼食をとるとき、
Yep.
どれくらい食べてるのか
No putting up fucking false
バレてるんだったね。
はい。だから今日はお腹の具合でも悪いのかと思いま
You just
して。
try not to look like a pig. With his fucking K-pop center part. God, I hate that hairstyle so much. Fucking e-boy looking ass. Shannon was showing concern I wasn't feeling well. Apparently, I'd made her worry with my stupid attempt to impress her. And in any case, it didn't seem like my stomach was gonna let me keep this pretense up any longer.
いやもう白状するよ。
Yeah, go get some fucking meat or something to go
つ
with
いつ
that.
いカッコつけちゃってね。女の子と一緒だからって遠慮しちゃって。
だと思いました。親族会議でのお
Yeah,
昼
and you
の食べ
failed
っぷりから考
spectacular.
え
Great
て、
job, guy.
それではとても足りないと思いましたので、遠慮なさらずにどうぞもう一皿を取りに行ってきてくださいな。
ずるいな。
I mean,
僕ばっ
women
か
like
り
a
恥
guy
ずか
that
し
can
いよ。
eat, you know?
じゃあシャノンはどうなんだい？普段からこんな小食で後ろ宮家のお勤めがこなせるのかい？
I'm kind of like that.
え
I can run off basically nothing. Like last week when I was having one of my episodes, I just, you know, decided I wasn't gonna cook and just was rummaging through my cabinets and I found a can of diced tomatoes and that's all I ate for that day. It was a big can too, like... Oh god, I don't have it on my desk anymore because it was a week ago. It'd be weird if I had just fucking tomato cans on my desk. But it was a good size one, you know, not like a thin like Campbell's soup can, but like one of those chonky boys. I didn't mind because I like tomatoes. Shannon grew silent and blushed bright red. Apparently, I wasn't the only one putting on a front. When I realized that, my embarrassment disappeared completely.
なんだ、シャノンもそれじゃあ足りないんじゃないか。そうだよそうだよ。普段のランチならもう少し量が多いものをペロリと平らげてたよ。
女の子のお腹は魔法でできてるから。
Nah,
これ
you
で
need
も
to
平
eat.
気なんです。
Get some meat on your bones.
ということは僕たちは互いに見えっ張りだったっ
Girls
て
are
こと
supposed
に
to
な
be
るね。
soft, unless they're like, you know, hard-bodied girls. Those are good too, but, you know, one or the other.
もう遠慮はな
No
し
one,
に
no
し
one
な
likes
い
a
かい？
skeleton. Trust me, it hurts. I smiled to show that I wouldn't make fun of her anymore and stood up from my seat.
せっかく沖縄まで来たのにゴーヤを食べないのはもったいないからね。ゴーヤの炒め物でも持ってくるよ。
You want bitter melon?
シャノンも一緒に行こうよ。
Bitter fruit doesn't really do it for me.
ほらほら。
Just the idea of it sounds like counterintuitive. To anybody watching us, it might have seemed like a pretty humorous and, above all, embarrassing couple. I was going to say harmonious, but that's not what it said there. But it's only after becoming a couple that you realize this banter means the world to us, and is our world. So, no matter how cold the looks we might have been getting from other people, we wouldn't even notice. Indeed, at this age, I finally understand the feelings of couples who want to endlessly flirt without any regard for their surroundings. After our return with a plate piled up with fried food, Shannon arrived with a lovely cake. Ooh. While laughing at her fake stoicism, we resumed our lunch.
せっかく海を一望できる展望レストランなのに、あいにくの曇天が悔やまれるね。
I kind of like the look of like the cloudy sea when it's a little bit rough. Our window seats, which we were lucky to get, showed us seaside scenery so grandiose that it didn't even fit entirely within our field of vision. However, because of this cloudy sky, it was a far cry from its normal beauty.
そうですね。
It's a different kind of beautiful.
晴れていたらさぞや真っ青な海を見せてくれたでしょうに。
そうだね。 普段六軒島で海を見慣れてると思うけど、ここの海はきっと格別な青さを見せてくれ
Yeah,
たはずだよ。
tropical islands probably pretty shallow.
残念だな。
でも
Man, I should go back to the
お仕
Bahamas.
事の
I
最
went
中
on a
に見る
Disney
海
cruise when I
は
was a kid that
ど
like
んな
stopped
に
by all
青
those
く
little
ても
islands.
灰色と同
Really
じ
pretty.
です。
Like the turquoise of like the really shallow water. It's really nice.
でも
I feel like I'd be
今
able
日
to
はお
appreciate it
仕
a lot
事
more
中
as
じ
an
ゃない
adult.
から。
Apparently, Shannon was doing her best to say an embarrassing line. But I grade harshly.
惜しいな。ジョージ様と二人きりで見る海なら、たとえ灰色でも真っ青に見えます。って言えたら、100点満点でご
Fucking
褒
so
美だったん
sweet
だ
it'll
けどな。
rot your teeth out.
すみません。
ご褒美は何だったか聞きたい？
聞いてもいいものでしたら。
ダメ、教えない。
How cruel.
ずるいですよ、そんなの。
When I was in elementary school, I was always the kid that got bullied. Well, look at your fucking hair and glasses. When everybody teased me, I grew nervous and speechless, to the delight of the bullies. Back then, I wondered why everyone teased me. But now, teasing Shannon like this, I understand why. I can kind of... I don't like the way he's entirely putting it, because I was kind of a fucking shitbag in elementary school. I feel really bad about it now. Like, there was this one kid... Sorry, Kevin. Just absolute punching bag. God, I was such a fucking douchebag when I was a little kid. Like, it makes me genuinely upset now that I'm an adult and realize, like, the potential, like, emotional distress I would have been causing, and it's awful. Oh, this is so much fun. Yeah, but being a playful bully, you know, now that you're older and know your limits and, like, what actually can be, like, hurtful to people, you know, if you're just Josh, and then, yeah, that's fine. I can play with her emotions however I please. I can have all of them to myself. Right now, I can't think of any higher pleasure. Which is exactly why I have to treat her lightly. I don't want her to get embarrassed and have a bad time. So I decided to end the topic there and then. It's not good to be too persistent.
お昼が終わったら海岸を歩いてみないかい？ひょっとすると雲が晴れて素敵な海が見られるかもしれないよ。
そうですね。行ってみたいです。
うん、そうしよう。でも、そのケーキも本当に美味しそうだね。
We gotta finish this cake first.
僕も同じものを持ってこようかな。
いけません。お昼にそんなに食べた上にケーキまで食べたら太っちゃいますよ。ジョージ様は秀吉様の血が濃いみたいですから。気をつけないと
Yeah, and you know,
おデブ
once,
さんになっちゃいます。
what is it, George? You're like 23 or something? You know, sooner or later your metabolism is not going to be what it used to. Let me tell you that for fucking certain. And it just, it's really easy to put them on and real hard to fucking get the pounds off.
じゃあシャノンは僕がおデブになったら
Yes.
嫌いになっちゃう？僕はたとえシャノンがおデブになっちゃっても嫌いにならないよ。
そういう意味じゃなくて、ちゃんと体を気遣わないと健康にって。
母さんにもよく注意されるよ。
Mm-hmm.
やっぱり僕も太極拳とかを始めて運動しないとダ
Get a
メか
little
な。
exercise in. That's all you gotta
ダイ
do.
エットは無茶な運動よりも食生活の見直しから始めた方がいいんですよ。
Or like fucking beach bod. But you know, just something to, you know, keep your cardio health up.
その上で運動を重ねないと効果が出ないんだそうです。
つまりそれは、
Mm-hmm.
デザートのケーキは控えろってことだね。じゃあ仕方ないからシャノンがそのケーキを頬張るところを眺めていてあげるよ。
その
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
ケーキ丸々一つはさすがに食べ過ぎだと思いますけど、半分くらいだったら大丈夫かもしれません。
What, you got like an entire cake, or is that like one of the little mini cakes?
これ本当に美味しいんですよ。
Like, you know, the ones that are kind of like maybe the size of like a coffee cup around. Shannon cut her own cake and tried to move half to my salad plate. I had no doubt that she wanted to share the flavor of the delicious cake with me. Even so, I deliberately and meanly pulled my plate away from her. She blinked her eyes in surprise. Couldn't seem to figure out if it was a refusal of the cake or not. So I winked, opened my mouth, and said, Damn, half a cake? Fucking stretching it, dude. You're gonna, like, tear your cheek. Split a lip or something. Ugh. While still wearing an embarrassed, exasperated face, Shannon offered the cake to me with a fork. Chomp. Tasted like cheap chocolate cake you could find anywhere. Still, it was exceptional. Because eating cake in such an embarrassing way, as if we were the ultimate stereotypical lovey-dovey couple, had been my dream for many years. It made this cake's flavor heavenly. If the Earth is destined to end someday, I wouldn't have had any regrets if it happened right then. It was such a moment of bliss. Yep, gonna be shame when it all goes down the shitter. In a couple hours worth of time. After that, we gathered shells, ran from the waves, and enjoyed each other's company while walking along the beach. In the end, the clouds never parted. However, we both believed that our eyes were still reflecting a deep blue sea.
なんだか幸せすぎて怖くなります。
たまに言うね。何を怖がることがあるんだい?
Oh, you're not losing it.
私、後ろ宮家にお仕えする使用人です。そんな私が後ろ宮家に連なる方と
I mean, is there anything in your contract about stuff like that?
その過ぎたことのように
fraternizing
思えて
with the staff? Well, I guess that'd be from his perspective, but you know, same thing.
僕もびっくりしてるよ。シャノンちゃんと出会ったのは
An
昨日今日のこ
unprofessional
とじゃない。
relationship with your employer.
何年も前から面識もある。でも年に何度もない親族の会合の席で挨拶をするだけ。そんな君とこうして一緒に過ごせる関係になるなんて全然想像できなかったよ。それはシャノンもでしょ。
Yeah, she's living her little Cinderella life right now.
ん？
想像だけはしてました。いえ、想像というよりは妄想みたい
Imagining
な
getting
もの
into
で
the family, getting that money, fucking gold digger.
いつも紳士的で思いやりのあるジョージ様とご縁があったらなって妄想をしてただけで。
じゃあ僕たちの縁は
Oh,
君の
it's
そ
probably
の
not like
信
she's
じた
around many
心
other
のおか
people
げだね。
her age.
思う力には魔法が宿るん
Besides,
だ
like,
よ。
I guess Ken and the other people at the Gospel House, but you know, not really potential partners.
だからその魔法がきっと僕らを巡り合わせてくれた。
そうですね。多分きっとそれは本当に魔法だったんだと思い
Huh,
ます。
joke's on you, magic isn't real.
でもね、そんなことはないんだよ。僕の中でも毎年出会うたびに美しく見違えていった君の存在はとても大きくなっていた。そして君にとっての僕も同じ今日ここに僕らがあることは
Mm-hmm.
必然の結果であって魔法や奇跡なんかじゃないのさ。
奇跡はあったんです、ジョージ様。
She stopped at the water's edge and gazed beyond the
奇
sea.
跡？
魔法あったんです。
I was bewildered at that slightly mysterious expression, which I sometimes heard her use.
魔法が？
はい、
In what way?
言っても信じてくれないでしょうから。
I mean, you don't know until you try.
でも確かにその魔法には私とジョージ様を巡り合わせてくれる奇跡を叶える力がありました。
You didn't ask, like, Beatrice for help, did you?
それは何かのおまじないのこと？
そうですね。そういうものの
Like,
た
you
めか
know,
もし
just
れま
just
せん。
pining to yourself in front of the porch. It's like, oh, if only me and George could get together. Oh, with someone's magic like yours, Beatrice, I'm sure it would be easy.
一つ違うのはおまじないなんかじゃなく
Perhaps Shannon isn't alone in wanting to credit an encounter to a miracle, or a chance. It might be a universal thing all girls share. For a man like me, to encounter a girl that's 70% effort to try to please her, and 20% rock... What? An encounter with a girl is 70% effort to try to please her, and 20% raw courage. Okay. And only 10% chance. What she believes to be everything carries little relevant weight within me. Ooh, so many W's there, too much alliteration. Maybe that way of thinking maybe that way of thinking is in itself calculating and typical of men. But were I to express that in words, any kind of magic would be broken. I do think that to become this close has taken many fortuities, concessions, and great efforts from both of us. We have this private time together now only as a result of all those things put together. And if she wants to call that magic, that isn't strange in the slightest. That's why I answered her the way I did.
そうだね。同じ運命を100回繰り返したら、
It's like the stars aligned.
僕と君がこういう関係になる結果は一度しか起こらないものだったかもしれないね。互いを意識し合いながらも、僕たちは他人行儀な関係を今も続けていたかもしれない。そんなよその世界の僕らから見れば、今の僕たちはまさに奇跡のような関係に違いないだろうから。
Sure.
そういうのじゃなくて本当に魔法なんです。男の方にいくら言ってもこういうのは信じてもらえないでしょうか。
Probably.
カノン君も全然信じてくれませんし。
信じるよ。僕が信じなくて魔法が解けたら嫌だからね。
ジョージ様。
In a small voice, I apologize for making light of her magic. Those words seemed to make Shannon a lot happier. After all, if a pair of people believe in the magic of love, it becomes eternal.
そうそう。僕からわがままが一つあるんだけど。
はい。何でしょうか。
God, what's this dramatic music?
そのジョージ様って呼び方、嫌いじゃないけどもうなしにしないかい？もちろん後宮家では対面もあるだろうから、六軒島での普段まで強制はしないよ。でも二人きりの時はなしにしよう。そういうルールにしよ
う。Pretty sure it's when they were in the gazebo.
ルールですか。もし破ったらどうなるんでしょう。
You'd get half your face smashed in.
そうだね。ルール違反には何か罰ゲームがないといけないかもしれないね。そうだな。何がいいかな。聞きたい？いえ、
聞きたくありません。
何がいいか僕も考えておくことにするよ。
Yeah, do a little brainstorming.
はい、ジョージさん。
素敵な響きだね。嬉しいよ、シャノン。
私もサヨという名前があります。
Yeah, you know her actual name.
そっか。ルールはフェアじゃないといけないね。
It's like when you get rerouted to one of those call centers in India and John answers the phone.
僕もそれを守って今から君のことを
You're not gonna call her by
サヨと呼ぶことにするよ。
call center name, are you?
いいね。サヨ。
はい。
I put my arm around her shoulder and held her close. Her delicate body was pulled irresistibly towards me, and she leapt in my chest like a doll. As I held her head in my arms, we looked at the horizon together.
真っ青な海だね。この海を二人で見られてとても嬉しいよ。
私もです。この真っ青な海をあなたと二人で見ることができて。
Alright, you two, that's enough. As we gazed at the gray sea, and a light rain began to sprinkle down, we kept listening to each other's heartbeats. Man, I gotta fucking trim my mustache. It's coming down on my lip, and I keep fucking catching it with my with my bottom lip when I'm talking. It messes up my syllables. The sound of waves soaked into my ears. No, this was the sound of raging waves. My body, bathed in painfully cold splashes, did not allow me to forget. Memory of the day when my old fate was broken and smashed. In the past, tomorrow had been literally like a mirror to me. All I could see in it was the same me that existed today. My tomorrow would never be any different from my today. That was my old fate. But at that moment, for the first time, I saw a different fate beyond the mirror. The witch whispered. She tempted me to take a bite out of the fruit of knowledge. She tormented me, saying that as long as I stayed in the paradise of God, I would remain furniture. So I learned of love and decided to choose to become a person. Those days were like sweetly melting honey. But then, I hadn't realized that they were the beginning of days filled with a new kind of suffering. Taking a motorboat that I had just been told about, I made my way to this islet? Sure. Oh, hey, Doomsday Siren, it's been a while since I heard you. That's a lie, I hear it every day, multiple times a day. No, it couldn't possibly be called an islet. I don't know if that's proper pronunciation. I feel like there's a silent letter in there somewhere. Yeah, it's picking up on Mike. Great. It'd really be more appropriate to call it a reef. Oh, the old shrine. Yeah, we heard about it. It had a torii and a small shrine for the local deity. It was probably built to worship the guardian deity of Rokenjima. Even though I didn't know the exact meaning, I understood that it had a holy significance. Despite being in a place like this, I took just one more look around to see if there was anyone observing me. The only things I could see were the stormy ocean, Nijima looming in the distance, and the waves breaking against Rokenjima's steep cliffside. I readied myself, timidly approaching the small shrine, and took up the mirror that had been placed there. I don't think you should be taking that. It was an old-looking mirror, dim and dirty. If it were an ordinary mirror, that would probably give you a terribly bad impression of its value. However, since the mirror had been offered to the small shrine, the quality made me feel some kind of divinity from it. And I realized it was not merely a mirror. Even if it was nothing more than an old-looking mirror to a non-believer like myself, in actuality, it was a mirror that had an important meaning. Yeah, don't touch stuff that's enshrined. That's some fucking bad juju, my guy. Is it really alright to break it after being captivated by honey words? No, this is no mirror. It is the inescapable life that I've lived until today, my fate. Break it. Break it and seize a life from beyond the mirror. If I don't break it, my life will forever be a pair of facing mirrors. Nothing will ever change in the slightest. The witch whispers. She tempts me to take a bite out of the fruit of knowledge. Maybe I've already had a taste of that fruit, because I ended up knowing those maddening emotions. Just like Adam and Eve felt compelled to pluck the fig leaf. I can no longer go without breaking this mirror. I fought with conflict for many days. Inside my heart, the virtuous part of me and the part that sided with the witch repeatedly fought each other. And now, here I am. Did the part of me who is here win or lose? There's only one thing I know. To obtain something, you must be ready to lose something. The cowards who don't risk loss and never try to change anything will never be given the key to open the path to a new future. The key is already in my hands. It is to break this. To break it. Is there any other effort I can make? As furniture imprisoned on Rokenjima? No. There's nothing but this. Come, have courage. I'll free myself from being mere furniture, and I'll accept my new sufferings and become human. These are surely the small and large trials I must impose on myself. Now, break it. break the internally unchangeable fate that has imprisoned me into pieces. I raise it high. Thought back on all those days of conflict, and after a time far too brief to do them justice, I finished my reflections and threw it. The thunder roared, crying out against me for my outrageous act. It was truly the wrath of the angels, preparing to banish me from eternal paradise. I looked down on the mirror tumbling at my feet, broken in 2 equal parts. And, having made sure that I accomplished my task, I looked up at the enraged sky and screamed.
いや、約束は守りました。今度はあなたが約束を守ってくれる番ですよね。
I guess I was right. The thunder roared once more. I'd already been banished from paradise. So, I would have to struggle by myself in order to live. The witch had said it. That's the single element of the world. To lose it means to lose the world. Like how a flask with a hole in the bottom can't be filled, no matter how much water you scoop into it.
約束は守りました。今度はあなたが約束を守る番です。
Maybe don't go making strange magical pacts with unknown witches.
私の願いを。ベアトリーチェ様。
That's like a pretty bad thing to do. I feel like most media and stories portray that that's something that'll bite you in the ass eventually. But hey, let's just watch the OP again. Maybe it'll be different this time. And while we all, just watch it and bask in it, I will have some more coffee. Well, those are some people that we don't know. George probably did something to earn fucking lying on the ground in the rain. He's too nice. He's too nice of a guy. And he's not like Battler, who's a dumbass, so you can believe him being nice. Something with George. Something, you can't trust those glasses. Never trust a man with glasses. That's why I don't wear mine. It makes me more trustworthy. Hopefully I won't need them for much longer. Plan to either next year or at least by the end of this year go in and at least get an appointment to get some eye surgery done. So that way I no longer need them. So one of my eyes got some astigmatism in it. I can't remember which. Both my eyes are pretty bad now. Like, I can see when I drive, and what am I? I'm nearsighted. So I have no problem reading my computer screen, but I'm on the highway and there's I need to be watching out for which exit to take. Unless I'm wearing my glasses, I won't know what exit I'm supposed to take until I get right up on it and can actually read it, which makes it a bit of a pain in the ass. So, I'm not going to get LASIK. I'm going to get the other kind. It's like PRK or something, where instead of slicing your eye open, they take a Dremel to it and sand away at it. It takes longer to heal, but it's more of a complete heal, because with LASIK, if you get hit on the head, or if you're in an airplane that depressurizes, which I work on airplanes, so yeah, that's a possibility. Your eyeball can just split open and fall out. All the gooey bits come out. In JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, Stardust Crusaders, when Kakyoin gets his eye sliced open, and he is taken out of commission for a while and is out of the story because, all the gooey bits of his eye fell out. Yeah, don't want that happening. No, thank you. So I'll take having some itchy eyeballs for a while they heal over, having them explode. My mind wandered. Back to the days when I could barely imagine the happiness I have today. I was a middle schooler at the time, an ordinary girl who dreamed about love, as is normal at that age. But I really should not have dreamed that dream, because I am furniture. Furniture is nothing more than a tool, and is not human. For a person less than human, such as myself, just receiving my education was more than sufficient happiness. So even thinking about love was more than I deserved. The Ushiramiya family conference was a customary event held every October, but relatives would occasionally visit at other times as well. Of course, they didn't come just to drink tea. On this day, Ava's family had visited the head family on Rokenjima. The 3 people from Krause's family and the 3 people from Ava's family had gathered in the parlor, and were having a friendly chat as they updated everyone on their situations. Genji had supposedly told Kinzo of Ava's family's arrival. So many apostrophe S's there melted my brain, but he didn't come down yet. He was probably immersed in his own research and couldn't spare the time. This often happened, so the others waited patiently for their fickle father to come down.
ほう、それは頼もしいじゃないか。お父さんのところでたくさん勉強して、早く手助けができるよう頑張りたまえ。
ありがとうございます。今は父の紹介で、たくさんの人生の先輩方に、本当に貴重な勉強をさせていただいています。
Yeah, it's all about connections.
そのいずれも、学校では学べないことばかりです。
学校で習うのは国語算数やない。ものを学ぶ姿勢と態度を学ぶんや。
You gotta learn to study. Like, learn to learn, that kind of thing.
その基礎ができて、ようやく生涯をかけた勉強が始まるんやで。ここをな、勘違いしとるやつは、生涯学べん石頭や。国語算数で満点取れても、会社じゃ役に立たへん。
No critical thinking skills.
全くその通りだよ。秀吉さんの教育方針はいつも本当にご立派ですな。
ジョージもまだまだ半人前や。それを常に忘れんで。
Oh, yeah, he's a little fucking baby boy. He's 23.
よしなさいよ、あなた。ジョージはいっつも一生懸命頑張ってるわよ。ねえ。
That's a little concerning in its own right. You know, take a break every now and again, my guy.
本当に立派ね。うちのジェシカにも爪の赤を分けてもらいたいわ。
チェ、まだテストの結果を根に持ってるのかよ。
Maybe if you fucking did better,
受験勉強は私なりにやって
you
る
wouldn't
っ
have to
て。
worry about getting back talk like this.
こんな席でまで言うことはねえだろうよ。うせえせ。
When George was praised for his diligence, the conversation would nearly always turn to Jessica, who hated studying. Same, bro. Jessica made an openly displeased face, as though she'd known it would come back to her.
やれやれ。ジェシカは勉強と一緒に、少しはおしとやかな言葉遣いも学ぶ必要があるんじゃないかな。後宮家の家紋を背負う一人娘が、それではみっともないな。
I mean, some guys like the gruff girls.
あら、これはこれで魅力的よねえ。時代は変わるのよ。男に食わしてもらうために定宿を装わなくてはならなかった時代はとっくに終わってるんだから。
そうそう。やっぱエヴァおばさんは分かってますね。
You know, a rose has gotta have its thorns.
今日は頭痛が特にこたえます。
大丈夫ですか？夏日おばさん、顔色が優れないみたいです。
ありがとう。大丈夫です。
You should probably really get that looked at.
でも本当に月日が経つのは早いものね。半ズボン姿で浜辺を駆け巡ってずぶ濡れになって帰ってきた日がついこの間のように思います。
Yeah, time really does seem to.
それはジェシカちゃんも同じよね。今じゃお化粧の仕方にだってこだわるレディーなんだから。眉にこだわりがあるのね。今日
ありがとうございます。誰も気づいてくれなかったんで自信なくしてたとこです。
A full smile rose to Jessica's face as the result of her own studies were finally noticed. Ava smiled back just as widely. Then she turned that smile towards Natsuhi.
ダメよ、夏日姉さん。 自分のこの小さな変化にも気づかなくちゃ。かわいそうなジェシカちゃん。一番最初にお母さんに気づいてもらいたかったでしょうに。ねえ。
Why you like this?
いいんです、いいんです。あの人、そういうの全然気づかない人なんで。
ジェシカ。
Yeah, let's not tag team your mom here.
母親をあの人呼ばわりとは感心できんね。謝りなさい。
言葉遣いについては、後でよく言って聞かせます。
お子様は邪魔だってんならそう言ってくれよ。私は席を外させてもらうぜ。ここは空気がよどんでるぜ。
ジェシカ。
Nah, fuck that. Family meetings suck. Jessica was still at that unpredictable age where exams were right around the corner. Recently, she had clashed often with her mother, who was enthusiastic about her education.
失礼いたします。
Overbearing would probably be a better term to use here. Jessica, making to leave the parlor in a bad mood, and Shannon, pushing a serving cart loaded with tea, bumped into each other.
ああ、シャノン。私の分のお茶はいらないぜ。私は庭でもほっつき歩いてくる。
Just work off some
お
steam.
嬢様？
シャノン、お茶が冷めます。配膳を急ぎなさい。
失礼しました。
Shannon hadn't actually done anything wrong, but Natsuhi, who felt like some shame to herself had been shown, lashed out at her emotionally. This was something that often happened in the Ushiromiya family, but it seemed that Shannon wasn't strong-willed enough to accept it that way. She shrunk back and nervously prepared the black tea. She had the unfortunate habit of making more mistakes when she felt intimidated. Yeah, some people just buckle under pressure instead of performing well. Her pitiful appearance dispersed the peaceful atmosphere that had been there until a moment ago. That wasn't really Shannon's fault, but she thought that she might be the source and felt a pressure on her chest. Her shaking fingers made the porcelain clatter, and you couldn't have called it graceful, not even as an empty compliment. The more pitiful everyone thought that was, the greater the silence grew. The more irritated Natsuhi looked, and the more Shannon cowered. Uh-oh, she's in a death spiral. Shannon's thin neck felt like it was being choked and suffocated by the death god called tension. Then, George spoke cheerfully, as if to blow away the stiff atmosphere.
これはいい香りだね。何の紅茶かな？
これは。
Good job with the assist.
言わないで。当てるから。これは特徴的な匂いだから多分わかるよ。
I mean, are we guessing like brand specific, or are we just going with like broad variety?
アールグレイかな？
多分そうだと思います。
Is Earl Grey the one with a little bit of citrus in it? I think it is. I'm more of an Irish breakfast kind of person. Or just straight black.
多分アールグレイで合ってるよ。台所に戻ったら紅茶の缶を見てごらん。
ほう、ジョージ君は紅茶に詳しいのかね？
お世話になっている社長さんに紅茶の詳しい人がいまして、講釈を聞いているうちに少しだけわかるようになりました。
Then again, you're the like company president's son, so probably not you, the one making it.
あの人、そういううんちくは得意やな。
紅茶の名前って産地を示すことが多いんでしょ？じゃあこれはアールグレイという土地で栽培されたのが由来なのかしらね。
No.
昔、イギリスにグレイ伯爵という人がいたそうで、その人にちなんでつけた名前だそうだよ。ちなみに、この特徴的な匂いは茶葉のものではなくて、ベルガモットというみかんの親戚にあたる果物でつけたものなんだって。
そうなの。初めて知りました。そういう知識を持っていると、紅茶もより美味しくいただけますね。
酒もタバコも同じや。
Yes and no. I mean, I look fancy because I drink tea and coffee at work and I smoke a pipe, but I also drink and smoke the most bottom barrel, bottom shelf stuff. Like, coffee? Like, give me some Folgers or some Dunkin' Donuts blend, or even like instant coffee. If there's no drip pot there, I can just boil some water in like my electric kettle that'll bring from home and just add in like the dehydrated coffee. Or like for tobacco, Admiral's Choice comes in a plastic bag. It's like $10 a bag. Decent sized bag too. Dog shit. It's probably the stuff they sweep off the factory floor and then rebag it and sell it.
嗜好品はロマンをたしなむもんやで。
Alcohol, though, I'll chill out a little bit. You can keep the natty light. Maybe good for some pregame, you know, or if you're trying to like get rehydrated, but
こういううんちくが味わいを深めるんや。
薬の能書きと同じよね。
same with vodka and like whiskey. Don't go for the cheap stuff. Like most cheap whiskey is just vodka with like whiskey artificial flavoring in it. It's bad.
夏日姉さんも愛用してる頭痛薬の説明書、今度はじっくり読んでから飲んでみなさいよ。
Oh god, my neighbors mow their lawn.
それはいい。今夜試してみなさい。
ええ、試してみます。
シャノンちゃん、そのポットを開けてごらん。茶葉の中にベルガモットを乾燥させたものが混じっているのを見つけられるはずだよ。
Yeah, the fancy kind with like the little bits actually in it.
入っています。オレンジの皮を乾燥させたようなものが混じっています。
うん。多分これがベルガモットだね。
Yeah, Earl Grey's pretty good.
アールグレイの香りの主成分だよ。匂いは鮮烈だから味がきつそうな印象があるけど、素直で飲みやすい味なんだよ。ミルクティーにすると香りもまろやかになって素敵かもしれないね。
Don't go adding stuff to your tea. Just drink it as it is.
みんなに注いでポットに余った分があったら、ぜひミルクティーにして飲んでみるといいよ。
はい、ありがとうございます。
George gave her a small wink. Shannon finally realized that George had been doing her a favor by calming down the atmosphere in the room. And he had been doing it for her sake as she had lost her self-confidence. The Ushermia family did not pamper their servants. So if there was any awkwardness, they would be harshly punished. So it didn't happen often that they were given a helping hand like this. Thanks to George's concern, Shannon was somehow able to get a hold of herself and finish serving everything safely. If she was calm when she worked, she could easily carry out her tasks elegantly and flawlessly. By the time the black tea was laid out on the table and the elegant scent drifted around, the room was completely back to how it had been, in a peaceful mood, as everybody praised George's knowledge. Shannon wanted to thank him for saving her, but it didn't look like she would get the chance. So she at least thanked him inside her heart, praying to God that George would hear it and push the servant cart away.
ジョージ兄さんは昔からそういう時には助け舟を出してくれるんだよ。話題をさらりと変えてくれるというかさ。
Shannon and Jessica could be seen in the rose garden. Jessica, having gotten into a fight with her mother, now felt unable to simply nonchalantly wander back into the parlor, and so found herself here, killing time.
思い返せば、こういう助けられ方をしたのは今回が初めてじゃない気がします。
Whenever I made a careless mistake, George Sama was there. He would always naturally smooth things over and make things harmonious, I think. Maybe it wasn't something as direct as picking up a fork that had been dropped. But that was his way of caring. Even servants have pride. They want to fix their own mistakes by themselves. Because if a guest helped them out with that, they would lose face.
そういう空気を読むのが得意なんだろうぜ。ま、ジョージ兄さんの美学なんだろうよ。あの人、妙に気ざったらしいところあるからな。
I mean, gotta look good for the ladies.
そんなことありません。とっても素敵な方だと思います。
ひょっとしてシャノン、ジョージ兄さんに惚れた？
I mean, I wouldn't go throwing the big L around, but maybe interesting. Shannon had refuted Jessica's words uncharacteristically forcefully, so Jessica caught on immediately.
いえ、 そういうことは
Doth
ない
protest too much, all
か
of
と
that.
そういやジョージ兄さんってあまり浮いた話を聞いたことないし、あれ
Yeah, he's a sexless weirdo.
確か家庭的な子がタイプだとか前に聞いたかな。そりゃいいぜ、シャノンぴったりじゃん。
Yeah, well domesticated.
私がですか？そんな、私にはそんな資格ありませんし。
資格はあるぜ。
I mean, yeah, it's literally your job.
何年も昔から顔を合わせてて半ば幼馴染状態。互いに男女であることを意識しないナチュラルな関係ってのは一度意識し始めるとトントン拍子らしいぜ。
I mean, it either makes things way simpler or way more complicated that way, but Jessica loved teen magazines with these kinds of stories, and she was always on the phone talking excitedly with her friends about that kind of thing, racking up the phone bill. So she had a keen intuition for this kind of romantic topic. So, this wasn't the first time a topic like this had been brought up to Shannon. But it was certainly the first time she had noticed George was a member of the opposite sex. She was furniture, and George was an honored guest connected to the Ushiromiya family. She thought it impermissible to even imagine any deeper relationship. So she hadn't thought about it. Jessica was taking immense pleasure in poking fun at all this, since it didn't affect her. Shannon was doing her best to make sure that her blushing cheeks weren't discovered. I mean, that's some pretty intense control of your own body if you can stop, like, a blush. So if George showed up at a time like this, there'd be no way she'd be able to keep her cool. They saw George come out from the entrance hall of the mansion. It looked like he had seen them as well. He headed over, waving his hand. Shannon had to frantically try to regain her ordinary composure before George reached them.
おじい様がや
Sounds
っ
like an
と降りて
exercise
きた
of
よ。
futility. Oh, so you escaped.
あとは大人たちの話になるからって追い出されてね。
そりゃ抜け出して正解だよ。じい様の顔を拝むくらいなら疫病神にキスした方がマシだぜ。
I mean, he's a bit of a grouch, but he's still your granddad.
そんな言い方は悪いよ。ただおじい様は僕らのことを
Maybe
疫
to get along with
病
him
神
better
だ
if
と
you at
思ってい
least
るかもし
try.
れないね。何しろ事業用にお金を借りたいという話でやってきたんだから。
Get a small loan of $1 million from some family. And money talks are never fun. And that's right. This wasn't the customary annual October family conference. Ava's family had visited to apply for a business loan from the main family. Kenzo had vast resources, and he lent those out to his children. Of course, this is not money to lend because they had gotten themselves into financial trouble. Yeah, it's an investment. How would they expand their business using vast amounts of money that they borrowed? How much interest would be attached, and how soon could it be repaid? This wasn't a loan for have-nots. It was a loan for those who were on the offense. Kinzo judged strictly whether it was worth lending out his fortune, and afterwards, he strictly oversaw its use. So there was occasion, this spectacle, where relatives visited Rokenjima and explained their business to Kinzo. To the parents, it may well have been his meeting concerning the movement of large sums of money, forcing immense stress upon them. But to Jessica, who lived on this isolated island called Rokenjima, it was a precious opportunity to meet up with her cousins. So even her bad mood for getting into a fight with her mother was immediately cured by this chat with the infrequent visitor George.
うちも全くケチくせえぜ。金なんて余ってるんだろうから気前よく貸してやりゃいいのにな。
Yeah, but loaning out money's a tough thing.
うちの親父もじい様もどうせねちっこくもったいぶっ
I
て
had
ん
to
だ
lend
ろ
my
うぜ。
parents like $10,000 last year for a down payment. I was fine with it, but it's money talks between family are it can get messy.
お金を貸すとき慎重になるのは当然のことだよ。もちろんうちの父さんも借り入れた分で事業を拡大し、しっかり返却できるプランを持って訪れてる。あとはプレゼンテーション次第ってところだろうね。
Gotta get that sales pitch.
本当は脇で見させてもらって勉強したいんだけど、母さんに追い出されちゃったんだよ。ちょっと残念かな。
親方様は クラウス様やエヴァ様
Yeah, I
の
don't
こと
want you
を
being there
今
for
で
like
も
the
子
dirty
供の頃と
details, you know?
全く変わらないように叱られるようです。そんな姿を息子のジョージ様にきっと見せたくないのでしょう。
As Shannon hung her head, she thought back to those scenes she had grown used to seeing while working in the mansion. Even Kraus, who acted haughty towards his siblings, was still treated like a child by Kinzo. Shannon herself had often seen Kinzo slapping Kraus and making him sit Seiza style. Oh god, his fucking poor legs. But for the uninitiated, for more time, Rumar Seiza is a traditional Japanese manner of sitting, used for formal occasions where respect is demanded. Sit in Seiza style, you kneel on the floor or on a cushion with your legs folded under your thighs and sit on your heels, with the tops of your feet entirely flat on the floor, big toes overlapping. This position can be quite uncomfortable to maintain for long periods of time, especially for those unaccustomed to it. Yeah, it's same with like Slav squatting. Unless like the tendons on like the back of your legs are like stretched out and used to that, it fucking sucks. It was probably deeply humiliating to have that forced upon him at his age. Oh, his poor fucking knees too. In the Ushiromiya family, taking care not to be present when this happened was one of the great tasks of the servants. Of course, that didn't mean that Shannon had been making mistakes by witnessing it.
そうだろうね。それを察して姿を消すのも子供の務めかな。それにしても今年もこの庭園の花は本当に素敵だね。
Yep, seems like a pain in the ass to maintain. George stretched as he said that. And truly effortlessly, he changed the subject away from something that had been a little gloomy. This time, Shannon noticed it too. This person, George, was highly sensitive to the mood of a group, and was always caring enough to change the subject to something harmonious. It had been so smooth that Jessica hadn't noticed it until today. Today, Shannon had to really admire that behavior of George's. Almost all of the boys Shannon knew of her own age were her classmates during her education. Ooh, that sentence, my brain. But they were all immature. None of them had that composure that George did. Well, he's like 6 years older than all of them, so I would hope he has more composure. Even though he had been just another guest until moments ago, now she couldn't describe him with just that. But that was idle thinking, irrelevant to her work as a servant. Shannon tried to chase it away with a small shake of her head. Yeah, what? You got fleas? Why are you shaking like that?
お茶のご用意をしましょうか。先ほどのアールグレイを改めてご用意します。
紅茶の名前覚えてくれたんだね。
I mean, it's like one of the most popular teas in the world, so you better fucking remember it if you work at a big mansion like this.
さっきはお気遣いをありがとうございました。
Shannon was finally able to put her thanks into words. If you wrote them out on paper, they wouldn't seem like much, but Shannon had needed just a little courage to say them out loud. But George played dumb.
何のことだい？お礼を言われるような覚えはないけど。
It seems he was being a gentleman in his own way, saying that he hadn't helped her because he wanted to be thanked. It seemed that George's response had been more or less predictable to Jessica. She burst out laughing uncontrollably.
なあ、こういうところ気ざったらしいだろ。
Yeah, fucking nerd.
いえ、そんなことは。
Jessica made fun of Shannon as she remained silent, red-faced. George didn't know the details, but he naturally joined in, laughing the same way. The three of them lazily walked around the garden, talking about what was new. George, as the oldest cousin, talked about his life experiences. Jessica talked about recent life on Rokujima, and Shannon talked about her recent work. These silly little topics went round and around in circles. Even when the others' stories had been fascinating, Shannon had never felt particularly connected to their contents. She was nothing more than a servant. She she had no intention of delving into her master's lives. She simply wanted them to enjoy their time speaking with her, and was only pretending to listen intently and nodding at the right moments. But for some reason, she found talking with George deeply interesting today. Even for things that she would normally ignore, she felt like she could feel a kindness hidden beneath the words. For some reason, she wanted to know more things about George, no matter how trivial. So she stared fixedly at him, like a weirdo. She thought that as far as looks went, this person Ushuramiya George was probably about average. He didn't really stick out. But he was diligent, serious, and deeply thoughtful in a way that allowed him to understand people's hearts and care for them. But she'd never been aware of these until now. She might not have met with him many times, but she had known his face for many years. Even so, she had not noticed once until now. So Shannon felt ashamed of this, and her cheeks went red. Maybe George thought that Shannon was appreciating him talking about himself, because he continued to relate his personal stories. But Jessica didn't miss that slight change in Shannon. Oh, I'm getting like cottonmouth. So she turned the discussion around to this topic Shannon wanted to hear about most.
そういやさ、ジョージ兄さん、いい加減に彼女とかはで
Getting
き
your
た
dick
わけ？
wet?
なんだい、やぶから棒に。
Normally, just George's reaction would have been answer enough. But for some reason, as she was now, Shannon found herself unable to understand it unless he said it clearly.
そのジョージ様はお優しいですから、さぞや
Hey, you gotta be surrounded by gold diggers.
表になるだろうと。
いや、その
よせよシャノン、そういう追い詰め方はかえって意地悪だぜ。
私は別に意地悪のつもりは。
嬉しい勘違いをありがとう。残念だけど、特定の一人の女性とはまだご縁がないよ。見ての通り、容姿も並以下だからね。
I mean, like, get some better glasses and, like, go to a hairstylist? I mean, it's the 80s. You can't really do much about looking like a fucking dork, but, you know, average is fine. You can build on average and, like, spruce it up a bit, and you're good. But just a little effort, my guy. Just a little.
女の子を楽しくさせてあげられるような気の利いた話術もないし。
そんなことないと思います。それに男性の魅力は容姿では測れないところで決まるんじゃないかと思います。だからそのジョージ様はとても魅力的な男性じゃないかと。
I mean, you're just saying that because his family fucking signs your paycheck. Shannon was uncharacteristically verbose. Compared to her normal self, she was being very wordy indeed. George looked fairly pleased about hearing his own charm described, but he was just a little surprised at this high praise. Jessica, sure now that her own imagination was right on, acted as though she could barely hold back her laughter.
ありがとう、シャノンちゃん。僕に魅力を感じてくれるような寛大な女性に早く巡り会いたいね。
きっと巡り会えると思います。ジョージ様の本当の魅力に気づいている女性はきっと
There's gotta be some girl with bad taste out there.
大勢いらっしゃると思いますよ。
She probably wanted to say, there's a girl not very far away. She avoided saying that much, drawing a final line as a servant.
そうかな。さすがに照れるね。
Maybe he had never been praised this much by a girl. George's face turned just as bright red as Shannon's. As she watched the two of them, Jessica giggled sadistically.
ジョージ兄さんもやがては素敵なパートナーと出会うだろうけどさ、今のままじゃきっと上手にパートナーをエスコートできないと思うぜ。勤勉でいらっしゃるようだけど、そっちのお勉強はからっきしみたいだしよ。
悪かったね。
Look, man, guys are just bad at that kind of thing. It's completely natural.
その勉強はこれから少しずつしていくよ。
相手もいないのにどうやって？恋愛映画でも見る？それとも秀吉おじさんに習う？
I mean, wouldn't be the worst person to learn from. He bagged Ava. So clearly he knows a thing or two.
ちまるで鬼の首でも取ったみたいだな。こういう話では男は女の子にかなわないね。
Normally, when George and in my mouth. Normally, when George and Jessica got together, their parents would say George is diligent and admirable, and Jessica's lazy and rude. So it was probably irresistible fun for Jessica when the roles were finally reversed. George also realized this, so this time, he was content with being the one who was teased.
ジョージ兄さんさえいいならさ、シャノンでちょっと練習してみたら？シャノンを一日退屈させずにデートに連れてくんだよ。どうよ？
That's a little weird, but okay.
そんなお嬢様。
When she learned Jessica's audacious plan, Shannon's face turned bright red, and a donut of smoke rose from it with a poof.
そ
You good?
それはとても魅力的な提案だけど、
I'm pretty sure your brain would turn to fucking pudding if
Shano-chan
your head got that hot, but sure.
彼女の貴重な休日を奪うだけじゃない。彼女が本当に思いを寄せる人と二人きりで過ごす聖域に僕が割り込んでしまうことになる。そんな無粋なことはできないね。
私もその思い人とかそういう人はいませんので。
Yeah, so it's fine, you know, just
そういうお気遣い
a little practice date, you know?
無用なのです。
Shannon's blood had all rushed to her head, and it looked like she didn't even know what she was blabbering about. Jessica, who knew how Shannon normally was, seemed to find this really comical. She couldn't hide her cackling laugh anymore.
そうなのかい？シャノンちゃんみたいな可愛い子が独り身なんて
I mean, it's not
信
like
じられないね。
she has a chance much to, you know, interact with her peers.
私使用人ですから、その
Yeah,
男の方との
she's a
縁
full-time
なんてあり
employee.
ませんし、その
ってことは、シャノンも将来素敵な男性を射止めるために交際の練習が必要だってことじゃないのかよ。つまり
Look at you
二人
fucking
とも
playing
互いの思
matchmaker.
惑は一致するわけだ。なるほど、こりゃいいぜ。
Jessica irresponsibly cheered the two of them on. Now, George was also hanging his head, red-faced.
ジョージ、さっきから呼んでるわよ。聞こえないの？
Oh God! Don't get caught with girl talk in front of your mom. Ugh. Since Ava appeared in what was an already embarrassing situation, both of them became even more flustered. Jessica was in stitches.
母さん、ごめんよ。話が込み入っちゃっててね。気づかなかった。
これはエヴァ様、大変失礼しました。
若い子たち同士で大層盛り上がってたみたいね。あなたたちもみん
She
なお
seems like she
年
has a
頃だも
nose for
の。
this thing.
そういう話題が尽きないのもよくわかるわ。
嫌ですね。エヴァおばさんだってまだまだお若いじゃないで
Yeah,
す
she's
か。
still got it going on.
秀吉おじさんとの馴れ初めを聞かせてくださいよ。
あら、そんなの言えるわけないわ
Little,
よ。
A little too saucy.
本当にみんな若いんだから。
それで何、母さん。用があって声をかけたんじゃないの？
お父さんたちの話が終わったわ。
Get the money time to bounce.
おじいさまにあなたの話をするからいらっしゃい。
Oh God.
僕の話？何の話かな？
今みんなでしてたのと同じ話よ。ほら、例の話。
What, tea?
ああの話かい。別におじいさまに話すようなことじゃないんじゃないかな。
何の話だよ。
Yeah, what?
まさかジョージ兄さん誰かと結婚するの？
それはおめでとうござい
Let's
ます。
not go putting the cart in front of the horse here, huh?
違うよ違うよ。特定の女性はいないってさっき言ったじゃないか。
威張ることじゃないでしょ。まったく。
Ava smiled bitterly, looking a little exasperated.
わかった。ジョージ兄さんあれでしょ。お見合いだ。
Ugh. So
お見合
weird.
いですか？
まあね。
As a man, George undoubtedly wanted to find a partner by himself and carry her off himself. So it seemed that he found the idea of meeting his partner for the first time in a marriage meeting arranged by his parents to be a little pathetic.
お見合いというのはもっと年齢が成熟してからするものじゃないのかな。
Yeah, but I don't know, just my American brain finds like arranged marriages kind of gross.
僕はまだ一人前になったって自覚すらないというのに。
もちろん即結納即結婚なんて焦る気は全然ないのよ。
Just put an option on the table.
親睦を深めて年齢的にもう少し落ち着いてから籍を入れる形でも問題ないの。
From the forceful impression that Ava was giving, and George's evasiveness, it seemed you could catch a glimpse of how this marriage meeting linked into everything. Who is the other person who remained who this other person was remained unclear, but it was surely someone profitable to Ava's family business Ava's family in a business sense. I mean, yeah, that's normally what they are. Felt almost like a political strategy. They wanted to create a connection between two families, if not by changing registers, then by at least having them get engaged.
結婚はね、好きになってからするものじゃないの。してから慣れることよ。感情だけで結婚すると必ず後悔する。身元のしっかりした人を生涯の伴侶に選んで、それから愛情を築いていくのも決して間違ったことではないの。
I don't know about that.
エヴァおばさん、それじゃ秀吉おじさんに悪いですよ。
私はあの人のこと大好きよ。いつまでも一緒にいて人生を共にしていきたい。
エヴァ様、
Yeah, how
素
saccharine.
晴らしいです。本当にご立派です。
ありがとう。でもその気持ちは二人で夫婦をしていくうちに育んだ
It
も
was
の
all
よ。
just business at first.
そして今の私たちより未来の私たちの方がもっともっと仲良しだと信じてる。私は夫婦はそういうものがいいと思ってるの。
だからって
Well, you can have your
好きでも
opinion
ない
on
相手
that, and
と
I'll have
結婚して
mine.
もいいって論法にはならないと思うけどな。
だからって好きな相手なら誰と結婚してもいいという論法にはならないわ。
I disagree with that.
結婚は一瞬。でもその後の夫婦生活はずっとずっと長いの。だから一時の感情に任せず慎重に相手を探すべきな
Well,
の。
yeah, no fucking shotgun weddings in Vegas, but you know.
そしてそれは人生経験の未熟なあ
But, like, come on.
なたよりお母さんたちの方がうまくやれるとは思わない？
それはそうかもしれないけど。
あなたは私の自慢の一人息子よ。どこへ出しても恥ずかしくないくらい立
You
派に成
definitely
長
are
して
the
くれたわ。
overbearing mother-in-law type.
バトラ君は席を抜け、あなたが今やお父様の血を引く唯一の男孫。あなたにふさわしい相手は慎重に選ばなくてはならない。
As everyone related to the Ushiromiya family knew, Ava adored George as much, so much that he was the apple of her eye. But that didn't mean she had pampered him. She had raised him strictly, and he had grown into a charming man who wouldn't betray her expectations. That's how he was the apple of her eye.
あなたの相手は決して母さんたちの損得で決めてなんかいないわ。あなたにふさわしい本当に素晴らしい女性に母さんが合わせてあげる。
Yeah, but guys usually don't want their mom involved in this.
今はあなたの中にあ
This process,
る
you know?
青臭い若さがそれを疎むかもしれない。でもこれだけは母さんの言うことを聞きなさい。
I mean, it's kind of her duty as you know, his mom to play kind of gatekeeper a little, but not like judge, jury, executioner on it, you know.
私があなたのためを思わなかったことが一度でもある？
それはないけど。
今はそれで結構よ。
Yeah, but matters of the heart are different. It's a different story, you know.
行きましょう。お父様を待たせてるわよ。急いで屋敷に行きなさい。
じゃあ ごめんね、二人とも。また後で。
George bowed to the two of them, and after bowing once more to Shannon, he dashed off to the mansion.
じゃあおばさんも行くわね。楽しい話を打ち切っちゃってごめんね、ジェシカちゃん、シャノンちゃん。
いえ気にしないでください。じゃあシャノン、私たちは行こうぜ。
はい。
大丈夫よ。ジェシカちゃんだってきっとそのうち素敵な出会いがあるわよ。ジェシカちゃんにふさわしい素敵な方がね。
私と同程度ってことは成績の悪い男かな。なんだかうぜえぜ。
もちろんシャノンちゃんにもね。
You know, opposites attract, that kind of thing, so...
あなたにふさわしい素敵な男性がきっと現れるわよ。
はい。ありがとうございます。
As Ava giggled and smiled, she approached Shannon's ear with a hand over her mouth, as though she was trying to tell her a secret.
使用人風情のあなたにぴったりの相手がきっと見つかるわよ。
Why you like this?
義務教育に行かせてもらった恩も忘れて。
AKA, stay the fuck away from my kid.
身の程を知りなさい。
Yeah.
そんなつもりは、私。
ジョージはお父様の血を引く孫の中では
What?
嫡男に当た
Ava
る
is
のよ。
classist? Who would have suspected this?
ひょっとしたら未来の後宮家を背負うことになるかもしれない人。その期待に応えるためにたくさんの勉強を重ねて素晴らしい大学に入り素晴らしい成績を残しているわ。そんなジョージと無能無資格無教養な使用人風情が釣り合うと本気でお思い？
Those malicious words all poured into Shannon's ears without spilling a drop. To Shannon, it was like cold water being poured in there.
私は
Oh god, cold water in your ear.
そんなつもりは。
I know if you pour like hot water in your ear, it can completely like discombobulate you and you can just fall over and eat shit because it messes with like the the fluid in your inner ear. This is all whispered in secret. And with the same smile as before, Jessica, who could only see Ava's expression, didn't think it was anything other than Ava telling Shannon some embarrassing story about love. When their secret conversation ended, Ava patted Shannon's shoulder, as though to underscore her message.
大丈夫よ。あなたにぴったりのお相手がきっと見つかるから。ね。
Yeah, you'll find some fucking gutter trash.
じゃあね、ジェシカちゃん。また後でね。
はい、また後で。秀吉おじさんとの話、その時聞かせてくださいね。
いやよ。
God, she's such a fucking toxic bitch, huh? I can fix her. Ava laughed dryly and headed back to the entrance hall. And if you ever think you can fix them, no you can't. Just stay the fuck away. Behind Jessica, who was cheerfully waving her hand, Shannon reflected very, very deeply on those words of Ava's about knowing her place. I felt deep remorse for my brief moment of conceit. I had forgotten. I'm furniture. Furniture isn't human. So I am a being who must feel gratitude for even being treated like a human. And I am not permitted to wish for anything more. Even if people develop affection for furniture that they are used to using, that is an emotion on the human side, and the furniture has no right to hope for it. They should just serve with simple honesty every day. But that feeling I felt when talking with George-sama and Jessica-sama is a forbidden drug for me. In other words, may have been an emotion I must not know.
シャノン、先ほどからぼんやりが過ぎます。体調でも悪いのですか？
いえ、失礼いたしました。
Not to see his words too distracted or right on the mark. Even Shannon couldn't believe she hadn't noticed Natsuki until she had been called. This was supposed to be the time when she had to concentrate on the cleaning. But she had just kept sighing and hadn't accomplished anything.
たとえお客様がおられなくても、常に気を張っていなくてはなりません。そんな様では、後宮家に仕える使用人として情けありませんよ。
don't want fucking Kinzo to catch you slipping.
はい。以後注意します。
もうじき、当主様と主人がお帰りになられます。書斎の清掃は済んでいますか？階段の清掃は済んでいますか？
申し訳ございません。
Man, you know.
まだです。
ええ、知っています。ですから、ルノンにやらせておきました。あなたがもたもたと廊下を清掃している時間で、彼女は書斎と階段の清掃を済ませてしまいましたよ。
それは、丁寧にお掃除をしていたから、時間がかかってしまって。
Well, attention to detail is nice, but if you get so lost in the sauce that you don't actually accomplish anything, then that's pretty counterproductive. Shannon was simple and honest, so she would always carry out her tasks seriously and properly without any omissions. So she was always slow with her work. In contrast, Lunan skillfully cut corners wherever they could be cut. So she could complete her jobs with a result that looked similar to an outsider, but in a much shorter time. In other words, she was shrewd. Yep, work smarter, not harder. Compared to her, we would say that Shannon, who had just talked back to Natsuki when she was already in a bad mood, was not shrewd in the slightest. Of course, there was nothing that Natsuki couldn't stand more than a servant talking back. Her forehead creased, and she spoke sternly. And yet, her speech was slow and admonishing, which was terrifying beyond measure, and finally made Shannon realize that she had said the wrong thing.
ならば、存分に丁寧な清掃を心がけなさい。
Yep, the whole mansion.
シャノン、あなたにこのまま大広間の清掃も命じます。当主様の大切な絵画が多数飾られ、後宮家への賓客をお招きすることもある大切な広間です。
Damn, did I fucking call it?
誇り一つ残さないよう、
kinda,
あなたが納得するまで、
fairy godmother
丁寧に清
Beatrice,
掃なさい。
my poor Cinderella story, save me with your magic.
もちろん今日中にです。それを終えて私に報告するまで、食事も休憩も許しません。わかりましたね？
はい。
結構。使用人はその言葉だけを口にするように、次の口答えにはより厳しい罰を与えますから、そのよく胸に刻んでおきなさい。
はい、奥様、ご指導をありがとうございます。
どういたしまして。
Damn, fucking Shannon just taking the L. Natsuki headed off down the corridor, making a gesture as if her headache was troubling her. Once Shannon couldn't see her anymore, she hung her head inside. This happened because I let my thoughts take me. I might be bad at everything I do, but I should at least be able to carry out the cleaning as well as an average person can, right? I can't even do that properly. It's so pathetic it makes me cry. Now, well, just cry in the shower where no one else can see you. That's what I do. And there's something even more pathetic. Not only was I unable to perform a single bit of cleaning well, but just now, when Natsuki was scolding me, I was envisioning him appearing and rescuing me. If only George-sama had been there. Perhaps he would have casually stepped in and saved me. I'm sure he would show up cheerfully, intentionally acting like he doesn't know what's going on, nimbly changing the subject, and make me forget I was ever reprimanded by Natsuki. I kept envisioning him, suddenly appearing from the other side of the door, or at the other end of the hallway. I envisioned the kind of person that would be an appropriate partner for him in a marriage meeting, and I envisioned how unfitting I am for him. Ava had told me that clearly. It had repeated endlessly through my dreams.
姉さんは相変わらず不器用だね。
Get dumbass.
奥様は今朝から虫の居所が悪い。黙ってうなずいていればいいものを余計なことを言うから。
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta take the lumps.
カノン君。
Fighting back just makes it worse. Cannon was suddenly there. His footsteps were always quieter than a cat's, and he left no trace of his presence. Oh, does he walk on the balls of his feet too? I learned to do that because I get really bad shin splints from when I'm running and stuff. So, you know, normally when a person runs, they normally strike the ground with their heel because, you know, that's what running shoes let them do. But if I do that, it completely fucks my leg, so I have to land on, like, the fronts of my feet. So I just walk like that now. And it, like, really fucking, like, no sound at all. The expression on Cannon's face was hatred. The expression he was making, he surely made for Shannon, who didn't know how to do it herself.
奥様も、そしてルノンも地獄へ落ちろ。
Yeah, can we meet this Lunan?
あいつは奥様がどこをチェックするか知ってて、そこしか掃除しない。
Yeah, fucking smart.
さっきの掃除もそうだった。見ていたから知ってる。本当の意味での掃除なんかしてないんだよ。
Yep, just spinning the wheels.
丁寧に掃除する姉さんに寄生してるだけの最低なやつだ。
そんな汚い言葉を使ってはダメよ。汚い言葉はカノン君の綺麗な魂まで怪我してしまう。だからせめて私の前ではそんな言葉遣いをしないでね。
Cannon faced away, acting sulkily. Acting sulky. I had an extra L in there for some reason. It was a dishonest reaction, very like Cannon-kun, but I was a little happy. Got angry in my place.
大広間の掃除は大変だよ。僕も手伝う。
ありがとう。でも奥様に命じられたのは私だから大丈夫。カノン君にも自分のお仕事があるんでしょ。
Thanks for revving that fucking lawnmower right next to my window.
汚らわしい仕事だよ。僕の魂なんてとっくに汚れてる。
Alright, you edgy little creature. Cannon then hung his head and bit his lower lip.
手伝ってくれるという言葉だけで私は十分。カノン君も自分の仕事に戻らないとあなたまで罰を受けることになっちゃう。そしたら私は悲しい。
Shannon knew Cannon's character well. Sometimes he didn't reflect on himself. If I don't refuse forcefully, he will help me even if it means neglecting his own job. Cannon was a little sad that his favor had been rejected, but he realized that in the end, going too far would also cause her pain, and he gave a single small sigh.
わかったよ。姉さんも頑張って。
それに私にも責任はあるから。
姉さんには責任なんて何もないよ。
And she was kind of spacing out on the clock.
あるの。だからもう言って。
I mean, it's understandable, but, you know, do it on your own time. Cannon's face showed that he still hadn't completely accepted it, but he stopped being persistent and disappeared. Yeah, he just faded out of existence. Pretty impressive. I wish I could disappear like that. Even though Cannon-kun had given me words of comfort when I was down, even so, I was still dejected because it hadn't been him. That was simply a sin. Far beyond any dream the likes of me could be permitted to see. Know your place. Shannon, who had neglected breakfast, was already starting to feel her thoughts attenuate. That's a fucking word. But she didn't finish cleaning the reception hall. She couldn't receive Natsuhi's permission to eat. That cruel Natsuhi had surely told the kitchen of that. I had to respectfully receive Madam's punishment. That's right. My position in the world is furniture, and I had been intoxicated by a dream that is beyond me. Ooh, new background. I finished cleaning the hallway and went to the reception hall. Maybe hunger makes a nose more sensitive. The kitchen was far away, but somehow I could smell the delicious aroma wafting from there, stimulating my empty stomach all the more. Until I finished up here, I could not get any soup. I just had to prepare myself. Several portraits were hung in the reception hall. One of those portraits was thought amongst the servants to hold a special meaning. It was the portrait of the witch. That wasn't its true name, but everyone in the mansion called it that. The name of the woman with elegant blonde hair, drawn as the subject of the portrait, was Beatrice. It was whispered that she might be the former mistress of the family head, Kinzo, and also that she was the great witch who had given Kinzo his legendary gold. The witch, Beatrice, master of the night on Rokinjima. She was gracious to those who respected her, but she would always curse those who made light of her. It was in Shannon's character not to neglect rules and beliefs such as those. So she thought the portrait of her other master, as the person herself, had always treated it carefully, treasuring it. And it had become part of her daily routine to talk, inside her own head, to the witch who only existed inside the portrait. She was furniture. Furniture doesn't complain, cannot complain, so she had no right to speak her mind about her difficult days. No right to open her mouth and say those words. So, she at least spoke her mind inside her heart. Those words she couldn't say aloud, she spoke inside her heart and protested to the formless witch. Of course, the witch didn't answer. She never consoled, and she never laughed it off. Shannon could only interpret that silence as she liked, as though the witch was at least listening attentively.
Beatrice 様、みすぼらしい私の話を聞いてください。
Shannon wiped the dust from the witch's portrait. She spoke inside her heart.
私は確かにエヴァ様の言う通り、無能で無教養な家具です。人じゃない。だから恋をする資格などないかもしれません。でもだったらどうして恋を知ることのできる心など
Alright, now you're just being a
お
little
与えになっ
dramatic.
たのでしょうか。
Shannon paused there and held back her tears for a time. The sound of the rain, which had started falling, along with the chilly air in the reception hall, made her feel as though her shabbiness had increased another level.
本当の家具なら心なんかない。だから人を愛したりしなくて済むじゃないですか。だから苦しまない。私も同じ家具なのにこんな苦しくて辛い思いをするなら
なる
That
ほ
little
ど。
laugh effect is so bad.
家具
It's
に
awful.
心を与えた
It's
か。
really jarring.
あれも時には愉快なことをする。
What, are you the fucking Wizard of Oz gonna give the heart to the Tin Man? No, the heart went to the lion. The Tin Man got a brain. No, wait, or was it the Scarecrow? Fuck! Who got what in the Wizard of Oz? I forget. It's been so long since I've seen the Wizard of Oz. I think the lion got courage. Did the Scarecrow get a brain? And then the Tin Man got a heart? I think that was it. I don't know, you'll tell me if I'm wrong. Which I probably am. The witch who never answered or laughed. Answered and laughed. My imagination? Hearing things? No. After all, the next words became a voice, and I could hear them, not with my heart, but with my ears.
人間は世界を構成する元素について紀元前の昔から探求を続けてきた。古代ギリシャ人たちは風、火、水、土の4つで世界、その後も数千年かけて人間たちはその4つに様々な元素を加え、5代、6代、7代、8代、12代と様々な解釈で世界を説明しようとしたが、
Gets more complicated. They add to the lore.
唯一の真実である。しかし、 星の導きによって現れた一人の男が、ついにこの世界を構成する一なる元素を説明した。
And that is...
何かわかるか？
No. Shannon fearfully turned around. Oh, hey, Beatrice? Right there, she existed. Not as an illusion, in reality. The contrast made by the lighting made it clear that this was not just a daydream.
それは愛よ。
The witch of the portrait elegantly held a gold pipe to her mouth and giggled. She laughed at the ignorance which caused mankind's thoughts to stray far from the most simple answer.
その男は世界のすべてを愛で説明した。それこそが一なる元素。
Sure.
男は最小の数で世界の構成を説明しきったのだ。なんとも単純明快にして豪快爽快愉快痛快。やがてその男の生まれた年は西暦紀元と呼ばれるようになったがな。
Jesus? wasn't familiar. That was one of his teachings. Shannon lost any words to speak. She thought that when first meeting an unknown guest, the first word should ask the person's name. But without saying anything, Shannon knew this person's name, so she refrained. No, surely as a person on this island, asking this person for her name would be the greatest disrespect. Because she was the other master of this island in addition to Kinzo.
ベアトリーチェ様。
いかにわらわがベアトリーチェである。1000年を経ても人がわらわを見て最初に浮かべる表情は変わらんな。
Characters. Is it any different? No. Cool. The witch giggled at how Shannon's reaction didn't betray her expectations. Shannon realized that she had met with a being that mustn't be met with, and she took a step backwards. That's where the wall and the portrait were, so even as she gazed at the witch, she supported the witch's portrait on her back.
お前の悩みは愛ゆえよ。それはすなわち世界の一なる元素。つまりこの世のすべてだ。それが満たされぬということは世界が満たされぬに同じこと。それは穴の開いた水筒に水を汲み続けるのに似ている。汲めども汲めども満たされぬ永遠の心の砂漠。人間の基礎にして全てにして現在。わかるか？
Sure, vaguely.
知識の実を口にしたアダムとイブが知ったのは愛だったのだ。それを知ったがゆえに人は楽園を追われ人足り得たのだ。
How philosophical.
すなわちそれは
How deep.
愛を知り狂っ心優しき娘よ。そなたは誇っていい。それを知った今、そなたはもはや家具にあらず。そなたは今こそ人間なのだ。我が名にかけて。それ
Good for you.
凡庸の身には理解もつらき話か。
A little bit. You're being fairly roundabout.
まあよいわ。許すがいい。久しぶりに人間と話すのでな。饒舌が過ぎたことを謝ろう。
Yeah, fucking chatterbox. Not expecting a reply from Shannon, Beatrice laughed pleasantly for a while.
詫びと言ってはなんだが、わらわの力でそなたのその願望を叶えてやってもよいぞ。
The meaning of those words surprised Shannon even more than the witch's sudden appearance.
そなたを
思い人と添い遂げさせてやってもよいと言っている。本来ならばそれに見合うだけの対価を要求するところだが
But
わらわは機嫌が良い。それにそなたはわらわへの礼を欠かさず今日までよく尽くした。それへの褒美としてやってもよい。
sure.
本当で
This
すか？
sounds not suspicious at all. Normally, Shannon would have been shocked by this guest who lacked realism and wouldn't have been able to speak. However, as though she had already been caught in the witch's trap, Shannon responded to the witch.
わらわの魔法にかかれば思い人と結ばれるように取り計らうなど造作もない。
Do mean it, don't you? Those words almost escaped Shannon's lips, but she herself held back with her final reserves of reason. A witch is a witch, a sinister being. The witch Beatrice is clearly trying to slip in through the cracks of my heart and take me prisoner. That sort of temptation, which so many fairy tale picture books have warned me about when I was young, is right in front of me now.
イフもまた敬いの一つよ。心地よくはあるがこれでは拉致があかぬな。わらわは確かにそなたらが意味嫌う魔女像から離れは
Yeah, you
せ
seem like you're kind of a bitch.
ん。だがわらわは敬う者には好意を返す。それは人間も同じであろう。
Yeah.
そのように身構えられて好意を返せる人間もまたおらぬと思うがな。
失礼しました。
Just being reasonably skeptical.
そんなつもりは。
You know, when things sound too good to be true, they usually are. Shannon finally realized that her hostility was rude to this guest. And she finally digested the words that had been spoken to her a short while ago. You are no longer furniture. Now you are human. The more she reflected upon those words, the more Shannon felt as though Beatrice could understand all of her suffering.
さっきのその褒美の話って何ですか？
You get one freebie, one free witch with wish with nothing attached.
お前がその心を虜にする男と結ばれるように取り計らってもいいと言っている。わらわの肖像画を日々丹念に磨いてくれたことへの礼とでも思うがよい。安心せよ。対価は求めぬ。
You say that.
わらわは気前がよい。だがな、対価は求め
Here
ぬ
we
が
go.
頼
Look, here it comes. The other Shannon inside her heart sent her a warning. This was what she had been so often warned about in all those scary picture books she read when she was
こ
little.
の島のすぐ近くの海に岩が覗き、そこに小さな鳥居と祠が設けてあるのを知っているか？
Shannon immediately remembered it. When you reached Rokkenjima by boat, there was a torii and a shrine on a reef which was too small to even be called an islet. She had the feeling that Kumasawa had told her its history, but she couldn't remember that very well. Traveling mountaineering ascetic, or someone had built it, or prayed at it, or something.
ええ、知っていますが、それが何か。
魔に通じぬものに一から説明
You
は
see,
せぬ。
there's too much good juju over there. You need to fucking break that shit.
早い話がだな。あれには参っておるのだ。実はな、あの祠の中にある鏡が収められている。それをそなたに割ってほしいというのだ。
Too much good divinity over there, you know? That was a very specific request. Suspicious? Did that say suspicious? I think it was suspicious. Shannon didn't know its history, but anything that might be stored inside a shrine would have to be something sacred. And she wants me to break it? why would someone as powerful as a witch be unable to do that herself? And be asking a human for help? Well, it's because she's a witch she can't do it, you know? There's no need for Shannon to speak her thoughts aloud. Beatrice started talking about this reasonable question before Shannon could give her answer.
あの鏡の魔力は、わらわの魔力と相対する。人の言葉でうまく説明できぬな。例えれば、食器の違いとでも言おうか。あの鏡はフォークで、わらわの力はスープなのだ。
What?
フォークでスープは飲めまい？あの鏡の押し付けさえなければ、わらわはスープを飲むのにぴったりのスプーンが用意できるというわけだ。
It's interfering with you, gotcha. It's jamming your fucking mojo.
それさえあれば、スープも飲めるし、岩ろうだって掘り抜けるぞ。目玉だってえぐり貫け。だったか？
何の話かわかりません。
Cool, so everything is Shannon's fault. Great, gotcha.
私の無教養のせいだとしたら謝ります。
こういうことだ。あの忌々しい鏡をわらわのために割る手間をかけてくれたなら、その褒美としてそなたの願いを叶えてやるということだ。今日のわらわは本当に機嫌がいい。
This fucking stinks.
そなたが望むなら願い事を変えて金蔵に授けた黄金を丸ごとくれてやることにしてもよいぞ。
お断りします。
Yeah, maybe don't go making like strange pacts with mysterious witches.
なんと。
When she heard Shannon's word, Beatrice realized for the first time that her expectations had been betrayed.
理由があれば聞かせよ。誤解があるなら解こうぞ。
理由なんて。
Yeah, this is just giving off some bad vibes. Normally, if you're getting bad gut feelings about something, there's a reason for it, so trust your gut.
なら鏡を割らなくても今日までと同じ平和がこれからも続いていくはずです。
Yeah, but is stagnation better than change?
なるほどなるほど。そなたの言う通りだ。あれを割らぬなら割れぬ今日までと同じ日々が明日も明後日も続こうぞ。わらわが絶対の保証をしようではないか。ベアトリーチェの名にかけて言う。割れぬ今日までと同じ日々が明日も明後日も続こうぞ。
Look at you just fucking playing this girl like a fiddle.
それは永久に。
Shannon was seized by an eerie illusion. The mirror was most likely something to restrain the witch. So breaking the mirror should have been something done for the witch's sake. And yet, it felt as though Shannon had to do it for her own sake. It felt like some premise had been switched.
わらわはあくまでも褒美としてそなたに思いを成就する機会を与えたに過ぎぬ。割ろうが割るまいがそなたの自由だ。割ればわらわはそなたの願いを叶える。割らねば今日までの明日が永遠に続く。そなたの願い永遠に叶うことはない。わかるか？何を言っているか。
Like you just taking advantage of fucking emotionally susceptible people. The witch was telling her. She was pressing her, saying to break the mirror if she wanted to be joined with George. And she was declaring that if she didn't break it, then her feelings would definitely never be fulfilled.
やめてください。そんなの聞きたくない。
そなたを苦しめたかったわけではないのだがな。
You definitely wanted to cause a little emotional distress there.
まあいい。愛に苦しさを感じるも人間の醍醐味よ。その感情を存分に楽しむがよい。だが我が力を借りたいと願ったならいつでもあの鏡を割るがよい。
Just planting that little seed in the back of her mind.
そして我が名を叫び呼び覚ますがよい。わらわは必ず約束を守るだろう。これならば文句はあるまい。そなたに今すぐの決断を迫るわけではない。
But you know she will
気
eventually.
楽であろう。
Just takes one bad day. Was this deal ultimately something she could feel at ease with? Definitely not. The Shannon, who was burning with love, tormented by passion, being tempted forever by a way of escape was far too cruel a trial.
この約束に期限は設けぬが、願いを叶える魔法には期限がある。その期限はわらわが決めるのではない。そなたの思い人が自ら決める。意味がわかるか？
Yeah, no.
わかりません。
そなたの
I
思い
mean, if you
人
find
が
someone else, basically.
愛のちぎりを結ぶべき相手を決めた時が、そのわらわは魔女だが鬼ではない。互いを愛し合う二人を引き裂く魔法は持ち合わせていないのでな。そなたの思い人は近いうちに未来に臨みそうだな。そなたは世界で一番その男のことを思っているかも
Gotta
しれ
strike while
な
the
い。
iron's hot.
だが世界で一番ふさわしいとは限らんぞ。
Fair.
わらわは見合いの相手を知っている。
Really?
その娘は世界で一番後宮ジョージにふさわしい。
You are just running circles around this poor girl.
良い学校を出て良い成績を残し落ち着きがあって思慮深い。お前より美しくお前より聡明で
Just pouring poison right into her ears. My god.
お前の
Not a
よう
demon
な
my
無
ass.
知無能無教養の娘がどうしてふさわしかろうか。お前が一番知っている。お前が一番ふさわしくない。お前と後宮ジョージが結ばれるなど想像するだけでも罪深い。愚かしいことよ。愚かしい愚かしい身の程知らい。義務教育に行かせてもらった恩も忘れて身の程を知りなさい。ジョージはお父様の
Thanks for fucking flashbanging me like that. Oh god, my eyes.
ひょっとしたら未来の後宮家を背負うことになる。
Witches aren't real! This is all just swamp gas! Fucking, she's hallucinating!
その期待に応えるためにたくさんの勉強を重ねて素晴らしい大学に入り素晴らしい成績を残しているわ。
Oh god, the stereo spec.
そんなジョージと無能無資格無教養な使用人風情が釣り合うと本気で思い。
God, I fucking hate that. It's such a bad effect. I don't know why it's in there at all. It's so corny. My god.
やめろ。シャノンをいじめるな。
Oh, hey, Cannon.
貴様は誰だ。
At the time, as Shannon held her head, trying to protect her heart from the blades of Beatrice's words, Cannon ran in front of her. Cannon didn't care who this woman was. As long as he knew she was an enemy tormenting Shannon, who he loved and respected as a sister, nothing else mattered.
カノン君、下がって。この方は。
It seemed that Cannon also realized that the being standing in front of him was the witch of the portrait, and also that she was a terrifying being.
シャノンに褒美を取らせたかっただけだが、わらわの言葉
Oh
が
yeah,
過ぎ
it seems.
いじめてしまったようだ
My
な
bad.
それは謝ろう。だが
The most insincere
先ほどの約
apology I've
束
ever
は
heard in my life.
そなたへの褒美として残してゆく。わらわの力が必要ならばいつでも呼び出すといい。
Yeah, here, you have this monkey's paw.
その方法はすでに教えた。ではこれにて今宵は退散しよう。
Yeah, shoot.
敵意の眼差しは心地よくあるが美容にはちと悪いのでな。
No, I don't. What are you talking about?
ケロ、お前が何者か知らないが、
Yeah, throw some
お前は
fucking
シャノンを
salt
脅
at
か
her
し
or
ている。
something. Get her out of here.
二度と現れるな。
Seeing that Cannon's words made the witch horribly displeased.
言葉を選ばぬか
Oh, I can see why
下
she
船め。
fucking stabbed you in the chest.
わらわは敬う者に寛大だが敬わぬ者には残酷であるぞ。
While she was still smiling, the witch's expression began to warp, and an oppressive feeling that couldn't be described with any of the five senses gradually filled the room. Even though they couldn't comprehend what it was, they immediately realized it was something terrifying. If you were swimming in the ocean, something large went by in the water beneath you. You'd want to escape to the land, even before learning what it was. And I'm gonna sneeze. It's the same as that. Just
おやめください。
bizarre
ベアトリー
dread.
チ様。カノン君はまだ子供なんです。言葉遣いについては謝ります。
Cannon blocked the way to Shannon at the risk of his life. There was tense sweat on his forehead. In that moment, the witch certainly had Cannon's fate in her clutches. She didn't even need to move a finger. She had Cannon's fate so readily in her grasp that she could crush it completely with a single twist of her own smile. Cannon also understood that, which is why he was sweating, and his knees felt weak, his arms heavy. Vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. Ah! However, Beatrice abruptly released that feeling of tension and laughed.
よかろう。そなたが求めるなら特別に許そう。カノンとやら彼女に免じて今宵は許して使わす。
Yep, everyone gets one.
感謝するがよいぞ。さて今宵はこれで退散する。別れの挨拶に一つ土産を残そう。
And that would be...
二人とも左手の手のひらをこちらへかざせ。
Ooh, getting candy? Beatrice grinned broadly and snapped her fingers. Whereupon, their left hands stretched out in front of them, and their palms opened against their will. It was a strange sensation, as though only their left hands had become someone else's. It felt like their left hand alone had become puppets, pulled by strings hanging down from the ceiling.
これは何の真似だ。
Cannon resisted, but he couldn't take back the freedom of his left hand.
騒ぐな。すぐに済む。
Beatrice held her pipe aloft, and from inside the smoke, gold-filled sparkling dust hovered in the air. Oh, that can't be good for your lungs. That glittering eventually became several gold butterflies. The beautiful butterflies danced freely throughout the reception hall, creating a fantastical and beautiful world. And two of those butterflies alighted on the palms of Shannon and Cannon's hands. Oof, owie. There was a sharp pain, as though they had been burned. When the two of them tried to examine their palms, there was no trace left of the inability to move their bodies, which had been there until a second ago.
朝、これは。
On the palm of her hand, a small burn mark had been made, the size of a pea. Furthermore, it was shaped like a butterfly.
これは何の真似だ。
Apparently, Cannon had the same bruise on his hand. He stared at the witch hatefully.
単なる挨拶よ。
Oh, you just fucking give people cigarette burns as a greeting?
他意はない。ただのあざに過ぎぬからほんの数日で言えよう。
Doubt?
手当ても必要ない。それは
わらわが確かに今日ここにあり、そなたと約束を交わしたことを明日に忘れさせぬための印だ。わらわとの出会いは刺激が強い。翌朝にわらわとの出会いを夢か幻と思い込み忘れようとする人間も時ゆっくり考えるがいいぞ、シャーノン。そしてゆっくりと休み、明日の朝日に我が印を見て改めて考えてみるがいいだろう。わらわは何も強要せん。
I would definitely like go talk to Kinzo tomorrow and be like, hey, dude, like Beatrice is like up to some shenanigans. Like, what's your opinion on this?
そなたが自らの意志で。
I mean, he would probably be like, yeah, whatever, just do what you want.
もっとも。
After he like cries, Beatrice!
綺麗をテーマに戯曲を
And be
書
upset
き上
that,
げ
you
た
know,
偉
he
人た
wasn't
ち
the one
が
to see her, but
悔しがるぞ。それで
get
は
his subject
縁があった
like
らま
expert
た会おう。
opinion on this.
久しぶりの会話は実に楽しかったぞ。さらばだ。
Maybe ask him, you know, what the like hypothetically, if I were to destroy the mirror in that shrine, what would that allow Beatrice to do? You know, in theory, asking for a friend. All right, later. Beatrice's body crumbled like smoke and blew away. It was golden smoke. No, a flight of golden butterflies. They scattered in all directions inside the reception hall, leaving a golden mist behind as they disappeared into thin air. Man, you gotta clean that up? We just fucking cleaned the hall. After that, only a cold silence was left. The extreme silence was enough to make both of them think that they might have been daydreaming until just a moment ago. Which is why the witch had left it. She had left a mark to make it impossible for them to think that it was a daydream. The Shannon Cannon thought back on the butterfly bruises on their hands, and the pain they had felt when those had been left. They stood there for some time, stunned and motionless. And from that day on, Shannon was tormented by days of suffering and conflict. Alright. Well, there was no, like, clock or, like, gunshot screen shatter, but, I'm gonna say that's where we're gonna call it here for today. Good stopping off point after our little conference there with Beatrice. So with that, I'll see you all next time for the next episode of Umineko. But before that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, and we will see how Shannon went off the deep end and decided to go out to that little shrine and break the mirror, and how everything is her fault. Dumb bitch. Anyway, catch you guys later. Bye.